Hi, welcome to the House of Valentina. I'm Valentina, and today we're talking about 6 tweaks that you can make to your home to really elevate your style. I think it's so much fun when you're at home, and of course now it seems like we're all at home more than ever before. Sometimes we just need that feeling of being pampered and really being treated. And I think that's why sometimes when we want to elevate our home, we want it to feel more chic, we want it to feel more expensive or elevated. That's kind of the motivation for it. We want our moment, right? This moment in our homes when we just feel like the queen. So today I'm going to talk about these very easy steps that you can make in your own home. My first tip is to highlight your best attribute. So many of us do that when we think about how we dress, maybe if you put makeup on, how you might fix your hair. And we're used to doing that in fashion, but sometimes I think we forget when it comes to our homes. And you can do the exact same thing with your home. You might have a room that has really great architecture. Or you might have a room that has no architecture, but you have an amazing piece of furniture that can really bring home your sophisticated style. I think focusing in on one thing that really makes your room special will help you have all the other things become really beautiful background players to that amazing moment. So as you think about your own home, I would think about maybe you could use an amazing paint color. Maybe you need to add some architectural features to your space. Maybe you could bring in some beautiful furnishings that would really help you create that sophisticated style. But if you really want to have a room that just has that chic, oh my gosh, that elevated feel, it needs something that gives it just that little extra. Some of you guys are gonna think that I've completely lost my mind, but I think one of the quickest ways to elevate your space is to swap out old for new. Now, I know if you've got a dog chewed up sofa, and I feel like that's kind of obvious, that everybody kind of knows that if things are literally destroyed and you can't even use them and there's no artistic aspect to it, the dog destroyed it, it needs to just go. Okay, that's different than what we're talking about. What we're talking about is when everything in the space is so new and it looks like it all came from one store and it can feel just a little bit flat. And when you bring something old into the space, it adds a sort of warmth, it adds a patina, it adds texture, it adds age, it feels collected over time, and this sort of layering of age will make your space feel really approachable, but it will also make it feel elevated, because a lot of times some of the most expensive things are the things that you can't buy mass produced. There's something that maybe has been handed down in your family, it's something that you found at an antique market, and there's something special that it really brings to the space that you just can't run to Target or IKEA to get. And I think that's how you can really elevate your space, is even if you can just have one special piece. It may be something that you already own. It doesn't necessarily have to cost you a lot of money, or you could find it at a flea market or an estate sale or whatever it is. Either way, adding age will definitely help elevate your home, and it just adds that sort of worldly sophistication to your space. Number 3 is to layer your textures. This is really important. You can have the most expensive things. Everything's expensive. I do see that a lot of times where everything in the room is expensive, but nothing really has any texture in the space, and it feels slightly off. So the easiest way, and you don't necessarily have to be spending a lot of money to do this, is to really mix in your textures. So don't just think about fabrics, think about the metals as well. Maybe a beautiful iron or wood, or maybe you're gonna bring in some brass. And it can be fabrics as well. It can be beautiful linens mixed with silks or velvets. All those things will really elevate your space and really help it to feel interesting. I think most of the time, a space that we really just oh my gosh, we can't tear ourselves away from. So often what that thing, that spark that really separates it from everything else is this texture. Stone mixed with metal, mixed with linen. It just works. It just works. This next tip is probably my favorite. It's something that you guys know. You guys know I love flowers. We've made videos about how to arrange them. We talk about that all the time. I love to add greenery to my spaces. This is something that I think immediately, instantaneously, will elevate your space no matter what your style is. It will immediately make it feel more chic, more sophisticated, more elevated, more expensive. It just makes it feel so luxurious. And when you have flowers, I have these flowers I have to show you. My daughter just had her 20th birthday and we have flowers in so many of the rooms right now. And maybe it doesn't seem more sophisticated to somebody else, but it sure feels like that to me. And I think that's what flowers will do to your space. It's something special. It is a treat. The flowers like this, they're not just growing everywhere in every yard. It is something special. And I think that you can mix in beautiful florals like this. These just came from Whole Foods. They weren't very expensive. I also love to order from places like Urban Stems every now and then and just treat myself. And it just makes the room feel so elevated, and I just feel pampered and loved. And it's just this moment of self-care that I think is really, really important. And mix it with things from your yard and off your bushes and off your trees. You can have little clippings that you bring in, and I think you can totally mix them up, and it will make you feel so loved and so appreciated in your own space. Number 5 is, I think I'm gonna say every one of these is my favorite. This is really, seriously, this is one of my favorites. You need to add a twist. And I would call it almost the ugly item. I think that every outfit needs something ugly. Every home needs something ugly. It's the thing that just really doesn't belong. And what it does is that it breaks everything feeling too perfect. When everything is in one specific style, it starts to feel a little bit like Disney World. And we love Disney World. We've made videos from Disney World. We love it. We love to take our kids there. We have a lot of fun, but you pay for the theming, okay? But when you come home, you don't necessarily want your house to feel like a theme park. You want your home to feel like a home that has been developed over time. And maybe there's something that you had from when you were younger that doesn't fit necessarily into this new aesthetic, but it's something that you really love and helps you feel at home and really tells your life story. I think things like that are really important. I have just sitting here, just one of the things that we found at the antique market, and it's something like this, a little African bust in a room that, has something that's French style. We've got, all these little things, and you need something that just sort of breaks the theme and breaks what you've got going on. So make sure to add that sort of spark and that thing that makes it feel interesting, and it really makes your story feel more interesting to you as you live in it. Number 6 is one that I'm personally working on myself, and that is to add art. It can be a challenge to go out and spend a lot of money on real art, something that has paint or an artist has sketched it for you. It's not mass produced. And I think that there's just something that really elevates your space. And you don't necessarily have to have a lot of money to do this. You might support a local artist. You might support someone who's in school. You might support someone off Etsy. I love to be able to buy, my goal is to buy an oil painting. Eventually I'm gonna find the right one and I'm just gonna buy it. But I think that when you add personal art to your space, it immediately elevates it. It feels so sophisticated that there's brush strokes, there's that pencil line, there's something about it. There is this sense of glamour and sophistication and elevation in a space when you have art that is original, and your art is really important. It tells so much about what you see. It's your perspective. It's what matters to you. And I think that it's really important, and it will elevate your space. I think it can be really harmful to a space to only do mass-produced things. It's not that you can't have those things. Sometimes you just need something quick. Sometimes you see something that is mass-produced and you love it and you can include it in your home. But if you only have those items, sometimes it can just feel a little bit flat in your space. Whereas when you have dimension to an actual painting, and there's depth of color, and there's multiple colors, and there's brush strokes and pencil lines and things like that, it will really elevate your space and make it feel timeless and storied, and that it will really make a huge difference. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. I hope that it's given you quick and easy tips. You might even look around your house and maybe move some things around, add texture to one space, swap out some pieces. It's really a lot of fun, isn't it? Ultimately, putting your home together is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be something that brings you joy and just brings you so much satisfaction. And when you look around and you see everything that's in your space, you just feel alive and you feel pampered and you feel that this is the dream life. And that's your dream moment. So I just encourage you to look around your space and pamper yourself today. Think about the story that you want to tell with your space. And even if you can't achieve everything in a day, have a plan and start executing it over time, and you'll be able to elevate your space little by little and really pamper yourself. So thank you again for stopping by. I'm gonna have a minute and go drink some more coffee, and we've got a whole bunch of projects that we're working on right now, so I'm gonna get back to that. And don't forget to subscribe and go check us out on Instagram if you want to have a chat with us in between the videos. I'll also link down below some of our favorite videos about how to elevate your space, how to help it to feel a little bit more expensive. I go places like IKEA and all sorts of places, so I think it'll be a lot of fun, and I'll leave the playlist down below for you. So thank you again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.